Good morning! Good morning! This is what we're doing today. We abandoned the fire simulation because A, it's way too heavy on the GPU, and B, it's too realistic. So we want something more stylistic. We want something like what I made in the St. Seraphim piece of the fire pit of like planes, basically. I'm just gonna use planes with soft emission that are constantly in a loop of flowing out. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's start with a plane. And we're gonna add a plane. There's a nice little plane right there. Yeah? Now I'm already getting ideas that what if we made this our plane right here? We call it our fire plane. Let's give it a material. Now let's run a color ramp through this. Basically make this like a dark orange. Let's add a noise texture. You know what we need is we need a vector map. Let's see here. Add coordinates. There we go. There we go. There. Now we're getting it. You can see now it's starting to get dark right here. We want that to be like a hot orange. Yeah. And then we want the top. Yeah. It's a nice flame. I'm gonna be crazy and I'm gonna make an emission system. Hopefully I can do this fairly quickly. Hopefully this doesn't take me nearly as long as it has in the past. We'll see. So we have our flame here. We need a cylinder. So let's cursor to selected. Okay, let's generate a cylinder here. Fire emission. Domain. Modifiers. Geometry nodes. Geometry node editor. Okay. Here we go. Alright, you can't see it, but I have my screenshot here so I can reference it. Because Lord knows I'm not going to be able to remember. So we need to reference the boundary to start. New. There we go. Okay, now we need collection info. Collection info. Bam. Okay, plane right here. Instance. There we go. Okay, we also need to set the scale. So let's do a value and plug this into the scale like this. Let's bring them down like that. We don't want any coming from this face here. Okay, we want to select these loops. We're gonna bring this down like this. Align Euler vector. Okay, this connects to the rotation. Aha, right. Not quite. Let's see here. Okay, they're still all... I think it looks like they're still all aligned. Okay, so let's try this. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Let's see here. Let's go back to here. Okay, let's go like this. Aha. I think we fixed it. Yep, we fixed it. Okay, cool. Let's go back to our emitter. Okay, so we need to offset the normals, is what it's called. Alright, so we're gonna offset the normals. So this is the, here's our node setup here. Very simple setup. It works, but now we have to modify it. And the modification is going to unglue the fire planes from the domain wall. So we're going to add a float value. So let's see here. Float. Actually, here, let's see here. A random value node, like that. Random value float. We'll say 0.2. Okay, and then we're going to add a vector math node right here. Okay, and we're going to set this to multiply. There we go. So we got the normal plugged into this vector right here. Okay, this messes with their orientation. Okay, hang on. So add a random value. Okay, add a vector math. Vector math multiply. Okay, so the normal gets plugged into the vector input. Okay, and then the random value gets plugged into the scale input. Okay. Okay, and then add another math node and set this to add. Okay, so we need to add a position input. Position goes here. Okay, so we need to add a set position like that. Boom. Aha, see? Yeah. And then can this just plug into the offset? Kind of. Kind of. Let's bring it all in. Yeah. Okay, okay. It made it entirely too large on the scale. But we'll figure it out. Okay, this is nice. Okay. Alright, so the bottom of this, we're gonna have to get rid of. Let's delete this face. There we go. Now we only have them coming up from there. And let's undo this. Okay, and let's go back to our emitter. Let's bring in the minimum like this. Bring it right there. Bring down the maximum like this. Yeah. Okay. Here, let's bring out the max like that. Okay, we are getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. This is cool. This is cool. I love geometry nodes. It's such a powerful system. It's gonna save us a lot of headache. It's a bit of a headache to make, but it's gonna save us a lot of headache later, like trying to figure it out. Because the fire simulation was just too heavy. You know, we're not trying to do realism here. We're trying to do style. We want it to have style. Procedural animation is like my favorite thing. Like, it's like one of my favorite things to do. It's just so fun. All right, we need a scene time. Scene time right here. Okay, so combine XYZ, the Z. We're gonna plug the seconds into the Z. Okay, so we need a multiply, math. Okay, maybe plug this in here like this. They're moving, but they're not correctly moving. We need them to rise. We have this. Can we plug this into the position? Whoa. That got rid of them entirely. Nope. Yeah, that's not working. Okay, hang on. So we're gonna add a math node, multiply node. Here, let's plug this back into here like this. Multiply speed node right here. Boom, like that. Aha. Okay, let's go to our timeline here. Right, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're rising. That's good. But we need more. We need them to constantly generate. I want them to disappear. We don't need them to, you know. They need to have a ceiling. Okay, we're getting there. Rising speed, like that. We'll set this to 2. Plug this into, oops, plug this into here. So we need to use a set position. We need a map range like this, and instance on points to scale, which is down here. It's getting complicated. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna figure it out. Let's see here. Geometry position. Separate XYZ. And I plug in the position to the separate right here. Now we need a map range. So let's go to map range right here. So the Z is going to plug into the value of the map range. Z is negative 11, like that. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back to our emission. Minimum is negative 11, like that. And the highest Z is up here, which is going to be 11. Yeah. 11.2, basically. 11.2. Okay, minimum is going to be 1. Maximum is going to be 0. So let's go down here. Let's grab these, delete this. We're going to plug this into here like that. Okay, hang on. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yes. Look at that. We have like a gradient. We have like a gradient of scaling. That's exactly what we want. See what I mean? Now, I think I can... Yeah, let's bring this up to like right here. There. Check that out. Isn't that cool? We need a sawtooth loop. So fraction like this. Aha, okay. We have a loop. Okay. Get rid of this like that. All right. We have more nodes to make. We need a random value node. Okay, we're gonna add this random value offset right here. Aha. Oh. Aha. Okay, we are getting somewhere. Yeah. Okay, okay. That's pretty good. So we also need to do the same thing where we do the random value and we're going to plug it in here. What? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, let's plug this into here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's sick. Okay, now we can like just increase the density like crazy, I think. And then we can also make the minimum a little bit larger. Maybe a little smaller here. Okay, let's go to the cylinder. Select edge loops. Let's bring this down below. There we go, like that. A little more. There we go. This looks crazy, but I love it. It kind of has to get started here. It's weird. There's something mathematically here on my node setup that takes a minute for it to generate, but we got, it's so close. Like, it's getting really, really close to what we want. But yeah, this is a more stylized fire. It's way more stylistic, and we're gonna get some cool cameras in here. So when we get the camera in here, you know, it's gonna look really sick. Okay, I kind of want to put a noise modifier somewhere in here, a noise texture. That's pretty cool looking. Now we got some like really slow moving ones here. This is crazy looking. It looks so cool. Look at that. Oh, that's so neat. You can see like the ray traced flames. Dude, yes. Dude, yes. All I have to say is yes to this. Yes. That is gonna be so sick looking right here. Like right here, just as like a generative. Dude. Okay, we're gonna need some more lights we need to get the lights working a little bit better, but this is neat. I generated my own fire. I think we need to add another multiply right here and value. Okay, and then I think we can add a noise texture like right here under 4D. Okay, we need another multiply like this. It's gonna plug in here. And then all of this stuff, I'm gonna plug this here. Well, this certainly helps. The fire does its job. Like, I think I could fuss with it a little more if I wanted to, but I don't really need to because it's so well done. Like, it gives me the effect that I needed. Like, look at all these reflections here. See all those really cool ray traced reflections? Doesn't that look cool? And if I hit start, there we go. Like, that is sick. You can see the reflections. You can even see them, the reflections on the actual pieces themselves right here. Like, look at that. Dude. You can see them here. You can see them on these pieces. It's gonna look great. This is gonna look great. So now we're just gonna get some cameras going tomorrow. We're gonna get some cameras, and we're gonna be done with this one. We'll be done by tomorrow. Oh, this one turned out so cool. Like, and we'll get the lighting too. So we're gonna get the camera set up, and then we gotta get the lighting set up tomorrow. And that's gonna be exactly what we need. And so I'm excited. This one looks great. This one and the last one, really, really cool looking stuff. Really cool. The flames really bring it together. Someone suggested fog or smoke, but I'm not sure if I don't think I need it. I don't think I want it. Once again, fog and smoke add so much more like complication to everything. Like, if I was to add a bunch of fog in here, I just don't know how well it would do. So, you know, we'll see. But we're gonna do some really cool depth of field work and really cool camera work and get the lighting just right. You know, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna look really, really cool. Like, this already looks really neat. So, yeah. Almost done. Almost done.